Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. The news that I'm going to be talking about today is another one of those weird 4chan leaks, only this one kinda stood out to me. I think there might be a shred of truth to this situation, and it seems like nobody else is covering this leak. This leak has to do with Bethesda, and it kinda touches on a possibility as to why Akumi Nakamura left Tango Gameworks and ZeniMax and Ghostwire Tokyo, a project that she was very passionate and interested in behind, which left us all very confused, especially because Akumi was a shining star at Bethesda's E3 2019 showcase. She pretty much became a living spooky meme after that presentation, and she was just very entertaining, and it was a very good breath of fresh air to see someone so interested and passionate for a project. Ghostwire Tokyo was very unexpected, and it was very interesting. It seems very unique, like it's gonna have a unique atmosphere compared to other games, and we don't get to see stuff from Tango too often. So with all of this in mind, I wanted to bring this leak to your attention today. We're gonna be breaking it down together, because as always, I'm going to be recording my screen. That way you can see that my bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%, and that way you can look up this information to verify it for yourself if you choose to. Now, before we get into this situation real quick, if you're not familiar with this somehow, on September 4th, Akumi Nakamura actually put up this tweet herself announcing that she was leaving Tango and ZeniMax behind. She said, "After 9 years as creative director and art director at Tango and ZeniMax, I felt here is one of the ends of my journeys. I learned from the talented people I've worked with and I respect, and contact me if anyone else wants to work with me." And then she put up her LinkedIn profile, and I really hope a gaming company or someone gets her a job as quickly as possible. It is clear that she is very talented and passionate about her projects. And about that, because she was so passionate about Ghostwire Tokyo, it seems very confusing as to why she would leave, especially right after that electric Bethesda E3 2019 presentation. This leads me to believe that she didn't leave voluntarily, that she maybe had to either leave because she was forced to. Sometimes people are given the option to voluntarily leave a company before they're fired, but again, I don't think Bethesda would fire her. It's clear that she's doing a good job, that she cares a lot, and especially after that showcase, it would be a bad move to just fire her, which leads me to believe that she left based upon most likely a very difficult decision that she had to make internally, maybe based upon something personal going on in her life, or what I think, something going on within Tango and ZeniMax as a whole. Maybe they wanted to change her creative direction and vision for Ghostwire Tokyo to the point to where it wasn't the game that she wanted it to be and she got mad and left, or maybe it's because of what's going on with this leak. Now, this actual leak came to us from 4chan. However, 4chan took the leak down. I don't know when the leak was actually taken down, but luckily someone on Reddit was able to paraphrase all of the information from this leak on a Reddit post that was put up about 10 days ago. And it turns out this 4chan leak is one of those old, hey, I know someone at Tango, I know someone at ZeniMax, and they told me some stuff. But bear in mind, some of those leaks do end up being true, but we do need to go forward with a gigantic grain of salt, because this may not be true. It's one of those leaks, just keep that in mind. But if it's not true, then we're just back in that dark place, that dark void of no information about why Akumi left, about what's going on with Ghostwire, so that's another reason why I wanted to talk to you about this today. Now, first of all, the leak is as follows. They say, "Yo, I actually have friends at Tango, and Akumi isn't the only one getting cut. ZeniMax are apparently doing some housekeeping on the non-Bethesda studios since they've all been doing mediocre or underperforming the past few years besides id Studios. And then 2 people have apparently said that Ghostwire is most likely getting cancelled, which would suck. I do not want to see that game get cancelled. I'm very hyped for that game, but to be honest, whenever a creative director behind a game, especially a creative director who is very passionate about that game, whenever they leave a project, that usually is a very bad sign for things to come with that project. Because when a creative director leaves a project, one of 3 things happens. Either 1, someone else takes over that project, and the original vision and passion that the game was going to be according to the first creative director, all of that changes, all of that gets shifted, and you eventually get a game that's just not the same. Or 2, a new creative director comes in, the game is still good, but it might not be the shining star that the original game would have been if the original creative director had their original vision come true. Or 3, the game is actually going to get cancelled entirely. When the creative director leaves, it's a big blow to the project, and it's very hard to pick up the pieces that they had and piece them together the exact way that they envisioned them piecing together. It's hard to take someone else's creative process and bring it to life, as opposed to if it's within your own mind, you know exactly what you want it to be, exactly what it should be. So even though this might be fake, there is still the possibility that Ghostwire Tokyo could get cancelled just based upon the creative director Akumi Nakamura leaving Tango Gameworks during this project. So as you can see, if this leak is true, then that's a bad thing, because then not only is is Ghostwire possibly getting cancelled, but Tango may go under as well. And if it's not true, then that's a bad thing because we're back at that dark void place where we have no idea what's going on. But when it comes to ZeniMax or Bethesda or anything, we're kind of in that place anyway permanently. But they actually go on to say some information about Ghostwire Tokyo and what the game was supposed to be originally, or what it might still be. It's going to be an open world Tokyo recreation featuring 5 cities or districts that I don't want to try to pronounce because Japanese isn't my first language. All of these are downscaled and shifted beside each other somehow through shortcuts and strange geographic phenomena. The entire map is mostly devoid of life, but is instead populated by dozens of yokai and modern cryptid creations, like an SCP facility had a breach under the city and all of these creatures escaped. You explore it looking for other human denizens while dealing with the bizarre things you encounter along the way, such as kappa who lurk under the water, roads that endlessly loop to the ghosts trapping you on them until you find the spot where they died and leave tributes, cyborg samurai statues coming to life and acting on fictional wars that they believe are ongoing, and other spooky stuff. You're looking for your little sister who left a message right after shit got weird at midnight and you're trying to figure out what caused everything to go wrong. Heavy emphasis on puzzle solving, exploration, stealth, and improvised weaponry, for example scavenging weapons and putting together whatever you can find from what you scavenge. They go on to say that major themes will be touched on in the game, such as tradition versus modernity, family, mysticism, Shinto, and the limits of human kindness and disasters. It's heavily inspired by old ghost stories, 80s and 90s Japanese horror films, American sci-fi, and the stories that emerge after natural disasters and of how people survive them or act during these disasters. And then they were asked about The Evil Within 3, and what they respond with is a little confusing, but what I think they're trying to say is that Tango was working on The Evil Within 3, but then they got the idea for Ghostwire Tokyo, and Ghostwire Tokyo was actually supposed to be the reinvention of The Evil Within. They're hoping it would be the Resident Evil 4 moment, and they would create a cult classic that would just blow up amongst the gaming industry. And here we are back to that sad point to where, yes, this all sounds really awesome if this is true, and all of this information does pretty much coincide exactly with what was going on during the trailer they showed us for Ghostwire Tokyo at the BE3 showcase. If this isn't true, it is a very, very good interpretation of the trailer, probably one of the most accurate ones I've seen to date. But if it is true, bear in mind, if all of this gameplay stuff is true, then that information had to come from somewhere, which means that most likely the information about Tango Gameworks possibly going under is true as well, which means that Ghostwire Tokyo possibly getting cancelled is also true, which is bad. So if this leak is true, that's bad. But then again, if the leak isn't true, it's still bad because Ghostwire Tokyo might still be cancelled because the creative director left, and because we're back in that dark place of not knowing about anything about the game or about why Akumi left in the first place. So this is a very, very confusing situation, as you can see, whether or not this leak is true or not, and that is why, while I usually kind of ignore these types of 4chan leaks, because a lot of them end up being false, some of them do end up being true, quite more than you would think, and this situation and this leak kind of stood out to me, and I felt like in a time of darkness when it comes to why Akumi left, in times of what's going on with Ghostwire Tokyo, I kind of wanted to give us any kind of light that we could use to navigate ourselves through this situation. And one last piece of evidence that I discovered before we go is within Akumi's Twitter post, the one where she announced her leaving ZeniMax, there's an actual interesting thing within this post. Someone says that they wish her very good luck, but they're also very confused, and Akumi responded to that by saying that she is very confused as well, and that she still has her hair, but that's just playing a joke on a gif up there. But the fact that she herself said that she's also very confused about why she left Tango Gameworks, or maybe confused about her future, means that the situation wasn't a planned move on her behalf, which means that she left Tango Gameworks for some reason quickly because she felt like it was the right decision for her to make, which isn't a good sign for Tango and isn't a good sign for this leak being false. Maybe this leak is true, who knows? But what I want to know, as always, is what do you think about all of this? Do you think this leak is true? And if it is true, what do you think that means for the future of Tango, ZeniMax, and Ghostwire Tokyo? Or do you think that this leak is false? Let me know down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet and make it featured in a future video. Be sure to like this video if you enjoy the content, and subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on if you want to stay in the know about the latest and the greatest gaming news. Follow me over on Twitter for the latest channel updates and other random stuff. Come over to the community Discord chat server where there is always an awesome and active conversation and some speculation taking place. Be sure to check out Loot Drop, the official Teespring Skullzi merchandise site where you can get a Skullzi t-shirt or even a coffee mug to let everyone know that your bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%. And if you want to have your hand in providing future content and getting access to unique and awesome awards, then consider subscribing to the community over on Patreon for as low as $1, or join the channel here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all of these awesome things are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when the spooky assumes direct control.
it just works.